Everyone laughed when she walked in wearing plain clothes and a calm smile. What they didn't know was that this night, meant to humiliate her, would become the most unforgettable reckoning of their lives. Lina stepped into the grand ballroom of the opulent mansion, the air thick with the scent of fresh orchids and expensive perfumes. Crystal chandeliers hung like frozen fireworks overhead, casting a golden glow on the sea of designer gowns and tailored suits. Victor, her ex-husband, stood at the center of it all, arm in arm with his stunning bride-to-be Isabella, a socialite whose family owned half the city's skyline. The invitation had arrived weeks ago, a gilded envelope with a mocking note scribbled inside. Come see what real success looks like. Lina knew it was a trap, a cruel ploy to parade her as the pitiful ex-wife who had been discarded like yesterday's trash. But she came anyway, her heart steady, her secrets buried deep. As whispers rippled through the crowd, old friends, business rivals, and curious onlookers, she felt their eyes dissecting her simple black dress, no jewelry, no pretense. Victor's smirk widened as he approached, his voice dripping with false warmth. Lina, darling, so glad you could make it. Wouldn't be the same without you, reminding us all of humble beginnings. The room chuckled, a wave of condescending amusement that made Lina's skin tingle, not with shame, but with anticipation. The laughter grew bolder as Victor's entourage joined in, a pack of wolves in Armani suits. One of them, a burly investor named Marcus, raised his champagne flute in a mock toast. To Lina, the girl who couldn't keep up. Remember when she tried to host that dinner party with store-bought wine? Priceless. Sneakers echoed off the marble walls, and Isabella leaned in, her diamond necklace catching the light like a weapon. Oh, Victor, you were so right to upgrade. She's like a ghost from a bad dream. Lina stood there, unflinching, her calm smile never wavering. Inside, memories flashed of the divorce papers served over breakfast, Victor's cold declaration that she was poor and useless, dragging her down his path to fortune. She had begged for a chance, but he laughed then too, packing her bags himself. Now, as the mockery intensified, a subtle shift occurred. Lina's eyes scanned the room, noting the exits, the positions of the guards, the fragile stemware on every table. No one noticed her subtle breathing exercises, the way her fingers flexed imperceptibly. The suspense built like a storm cloud, unspoken questions hanging in the air. Why was she here? What was she planning? The guests leaned in, expecting tears or a hasty retreat, but Lina simply sipped her water, her mind a fortress of calculated patience. As the evening progressed, the humiliation setup unfolded like a scripted play. Victor pulled Lina onto the dance floor under the guise of old times sake, only to spin her clumsily, drawing more laughs. See, folks, she never could dance or do much else. His words stung like barbs, but Lina moved with unexpected grace, her steps light and precise, hinting at something more. A drunken guest, emboldened by the crowd's approval, stumbled forward and grabbed her arm roughly. Hey, poor girl, why don't you serve us drinks? That's more your speed. The room held its breath, waiting for her to crumble. Instead, Lina's smile deepened, a glint of steel in her eyes. Flashbacks teased at the edges of her thoughts. Nights alone after the divorce, scraping by in a tiny apartment, vowing to rise from the ashes. She had found a mentor, a shadowy figure in the world of martial arts, who saw potential in her broken spirit. But here, in this moment, she let the insult hang, building the tension. The crowd's laughter faltered slightly, an uneasy undercurrent rippling through. What if she wasn't as weak as they thought? The chapter of mockery was closing, and something far more explosive loomed on the horizon. Victor's wedding was no ordinary affair. It was a spectacle designed to flaunt his empire. Tech startups, luxury real estate, a life of excess built on ruthless ambition. Guests included celebrities, politicians, and tycoons, all toasting to his victory over the past. Lina, positioned as the punchline, felt the weight of their gazes, but she thrived on it. In her mind, she replayed the invitation's arrival, the way it mocked her solitude. Join us for the celebration you could never afford. She had almost tossed it, but curiosity and a spark of unresolved fire drew her in. Now, as servers circulated with caviar and vintage wines, Victor's best man, a sleazy lawyer named Derek, cornered her by the buffet. "Lina, you look thrifty, still scraping by on waitressing tips." His words elicited guffaws from nearby clusters. Lina responded softly. "Appearances can be deceiving, Derek." Her voice carried a cryptic edge, planting seeds of doubt. The suspense thickened. Whispers speculated if she was there to beg for money or cause a scene. Unbeknownst to them, Lina's plain clothes hid a physique honed by years of discipline, her calm a veil over a storm. The night was young, and the real show was about to begin, turning their laughter into gasps of disbelief. Flashbacks flooded Lina's mind as she navigated the glittering crowd, each memory a sharp contrast to the opulence around her. 5 years ago, she and Victor had been newlyweds, full of dreams in a modest apartment. He was ambitious, she supportive, working 2 jobs to fund his startup ideas. But success changed him. As his company soared, he grew distant, criticizing her for not matching his elevated status. The divorce came swiftly, a courtroom battle where he painted her as lazy and dependent. "She's holding me back," he declared to the judge, his eyes cold. Lina left with nothing but a broken heart and a suitcase, the label, "poor and useless," echoing in her ears. Wandering the streets that night, rain soaking her clothes, she vowed reinvention. A chance encounter in a dimly lit dojo introduced her to Master Chen, a reclusive kung fu legend who saw fire in her eyes. "Pain is the forge of strength," he said, offering training that would transform her. Months turned to years. She sparred under moonlight, mastered ancient forms, her body becoming a weapon of precision and power. But Victor knew none of this, his invitation a blind stab in the dark. Back in the present, the wedding's toast began, each one laced with subtle digs at Lina's expense. Isabella, radiant in her couture gown, clinked glasses with Victor, her laughter tinkling like broken glass. To new beginnings and leaving the old baggage behind. The crowd cheered, but Lina's thoughts drifted to her secret empire. After mastering Kung Fu, she channeled her discipline into business, starting a wellness brand that exploded globally. Hidden behind anonymous holdings, she amassed wealth far surpassing Victor's. Yachts, private jets, investment in cutting-edge tech, all under pseudonyms. The suspense built as she overheard Victor boasting about his latest deal, oblivious to her silent observation. A comedian hired for entertainment took the stage, roasting guests lightly but zeroing in on Lina. "And here's the ex-wife, came for the free food, eh?" The room erupted, but Lina chuckled softly, her humor a shield. Inside, she plotted, her romance from the past flickering in memory, a kind-hearted trainer named Alex, who had believed in her when no one else did. Their witty banter during sessions had sparked something real, but she pushed it aside for focus. Now, as the night deepened, the pieces aligned for revelation. The betrayal's echoes resonated deeper as Lina recalled Victor's final words during the divorce. "You'll never amount to anything without me." Those words fueled her fire. Under Master Chen's guidance, she not only learned combat but strategy, reading opponents, striking at weaknesses. Her business acumen sharpened. She invested in startups Victor had dismissed, turning them into gold mines. One, a health tech firm, now rivaled his empire. The wedding's extravagance mocked her past poverty, but irony simmered. Her funds indirectly sponsored parts of this event through shared investments. Guests mingled, sharing stories of Victor's rags to riches tale, conveniently omitting her sacrifices. A tipsy socialite approached Lina, pity in her eyes. "Honey, you okay? This must be tough." Lina smiled enigmatically. Tougher for some than others. The woman's confusion added to the intrigue, whispers spreading. Comedy crept in when a clumsy waiter spilled sauce on Victor's shoe, his overreaction drawing Lina's suppressed grin. Romance hinted as she spotted a familiar face in the crowd. Alex, invited unknowingly, his eyes meeting hers with spark. As the chapter of echoes closed, Lina's resolve hardened. The ballroom's music swelled, couples dancing under the lights, but tension crackled.
Victor, sporting her solitude, sauntered over with Isabella. Still single, Lina, no surprise. His words aimed to wound, but she parried with wit. Quality over quantity, Victor. Isabella scoffed, but unease flickered in her eyes. Flashbacks revealed Lina's first business win, a silent auction where she outbid Victor anonymously, savoring his frustration from afar. Now, here, the stage was set. Master Chen's voice echoed, "Patience is the deadliest weapon." The guests, unaware, continued their revelry, but Lina's calm exterior hid a brewing storm. Suspense mounted. What would trigger her? A slap? A word too far? The night promised explosions, romance rekindled, and comedy in chaos, all weaving into her ultimate triumph.
The wedding's atmosphere thickened with unspoken tension as Lina moved through the crowd like a shadow, her plain attire a deliberate camouflage amid the sea of extravagance. Victor's friends, emboldened by alcohol, circled her like vultures, their mockery escalating from whispers to outright taunts. "Look at her, thinking she belongs here," one sneered, a banker with a punch and a superiority complex. Lina's response was a serene nod, but her mind raced, calculating angles, anticipating moves. The ballroom's grandeur, gold-leafed ceilings, live orchestra, towering ice sculptures served as an ironic backdrop to her impending storm. Guests glanced curiously, some pitying, others amused, but none suspecting the depth of her transformation. A flashback intruded, her first kung fu lesson, bruised and exhausted, Master Chen pushing her limits. "Your body is a temple, your mind the architect." Those grueling sessions in hidden dojos, blending ancient techniques with modern strategy, forged her into something unbreakable. Now, as Victor announced a group photo, positioning Lina at the edge like an afterthought, the suspense coiled tighter. Comedy interjected unexpectedly when a magician hired for entertainment pulled Lina on stage for a trick. "Now, watch as I make this lovely lady disappear, just like her marriage." The crowd roared, but Lina, with a sly wink, subtly sabotaged the act by palming the prop, leaving the magician flustered. "How did you?" he stammered, drawing genuine laughs. Victor frowned, a crack in his facade. Romance stirred as Alex, the man from her past, approached discreetly. Tall, with a disarming grin and eyes that sparkled with mischief, he had been her sparring partner years ago. "Lina, you look ready for battle," he whispered, his voice laced with concern and affection. Their banter reignited instantly. "Still dodging punches, Alex?" she teased. "Only the emotional ones you threw." His presence added a layer of warmth, contrasting the cold cruelty around them. But suspense loomed. When would the bullies cross the line? A drunken guest, Marcus again, slurred insults, inching closer, his hand raised threateningly.
The storm's whispers grew to murmurs as the evening's program unfolded. Speeches praised Victor's brilliance, glossing over his ruthless climb. Lina, seated at a distant table, overheard plans for a surprise roast targeting her. Her empire's secrets bubbled beneath, boardrooms where she commanded respect, deals sealed with ironclad precision. A quick glance at her phone, disguised as checking time, revealed messages from her team confirming the convoy's approach. Intrigue deepened when Isabella, sensing Victor's obsession with Lina, confronted her privately in the powder room. "Why are you really here? To beg him back." Lina's cryptic reply, "To close a chapter." Isabella's unease was palpable, adding psychological tension. Action teased in subtle ways, Lina deflecting a spilled drink with effortless reflex, her movement too fluid for coincidence. Guests began noticing, whispers evolving. Something's off about her. Comedy peaked when Victor tripped over his own ego during a toast, spilling champagne, and Lina quipped under her breath, "Slippery slopes for slippery men." As whispers crescendoed, the setup for humiliation reached fever pitch. Victor, fueled by adulation,
called Lina to the microphone. Share a memory, ex-dear. Make it quick. The room hushed, expectant. Lina's words were measured. Memories are like mirrors. They reflect who we truly are. Ambiguity hung heavy, suspense electric. Flashbacks revealed her wealth's origin, an innovative app blending kung fu principles with fitness tech, going viral overnight. Now billionaire status awaited revelation. Alex hovered nearby, his protective stance hinting at rekindled romance. I've got your back, he murmured, their chemistry crackling. The chapter closed on the brink, the storm ready to break, promising action, twists, and laughter in the chaos ahead.
The tension in the ballroom reached a boiling point as Victor's cronies, sensing their leader's approval, amped up the mockery to unbearable levels. Marcus, the drunken investor, lurched forward, his face flushed with booze and bravado. "Hey, useless, time to show you the door." His hand swung in a sloppy slap, connecting with Lina's cheek in a resounding crack that silenced the orchestra. The room erupted in shocked laughter, glasses clinking in morbid amusement. Victor grinned triumphantly, Isabella clapping delicately. But Lina didn't flinch. Her head turned slightly, then snapped back with that same calm smile. The slap sting was nothing compared to years of emotional blows. Flashbacks assaulted her, post-divorce despair, collapsing in the dojo, Master Chen lifting her. Turned pain into power. Her training montage played mentally, endless push-ups, kata forms at dawn, sparring with shadows. Now, as blood trickled from her lip, the crowd waited for tears. Instead, Lina wiped it away, her voice steady. "Is that all you've got?" Suspense skyrocketed, whispers turned to gasps. Action exploded in a blur of motion. Marcus, enraged by her defiance, grabbed her arm roughly, pulling her toward the exit. "Out, beggar!" But Lina twisted free with serpentine grace, her kung fu expertise unleashing. A precise elbow strike to his solar plexus doubled him over, gasping. The room froze. Another bully charged, a burly security guard, Victor's friend, swinging a fist. Lina ducked fluidly, sweeping his legs in a whirlwind kick that sent him crashing into a table of hors d'oeuvres. Champagne flutes shattered like fireworks, suits splattered with caviar. Laughter morphed into screams as Lina dispatched 3 more attackers. A spinning back fist here, a joint lock there, each move elegant, unstoppable. Victor's face paled. Isabella shrieked. Comedy injected when one assailant slipped on spilled wine, flailing comically, before Lina's gentle push toppled him into the fountain. "Cool off," she quipped, drawing reluctant chuckles from onlookers. Romance blossomed amid chaos as Alex jumped in, not to fight but to banter. "Need a hand or are you good?" he yelled over the din, dodging a flying chair. Lina grinned mid-kick. "I've got this, but cover my left." Their synergy was electric, a dance of combat and flirtation. Flashbacks revealed their past, stolen kisses after training, his encouragement fueling her rise. "You're unbreakable," he'd said. Now, as bodies littered the floor, harmlessly subdued, the crowd reeled in awe. Suspense built. What next? Victor stammered, "Security!" But his hired guards hesitated, recognizing Lina's prowess. Her empire's hints emerged. A guest murmured, "Isn't she the CEO of Zenforce?" Intrigue deepened as phones buzzed with notifications. The breaking point shattered illusions, paving way for revelations. The chapter's payoff came in waves of realization. Victor, cornered, bellowed, "This is my wedding! You're ruined!" Lina, breathing evenly, faced him. "Ruined? I've just begun." Her words hung like a guillotine. Comedy returned when Isabella, dress torn from the melee, wailed, "My diamonds!" Only for Lina to retort, "Priorities, dear." Action slowed, but tension lingered. Flashbacks closed the loop. Her wealth's accumulation, silent takeovers of Victor's suppliers. The room, once mocking, now watched in stunned silence, the storm's eye passing, promising greater twists. Just as the chaos subsided, Tires screeched outside, heralding the ultimate twist. A convoy of gleaming Rolls-Royces pulled up, doors opening to reveal elite security in crisp uniforms. High-profile figures emerged, tech moguls, celebrities, even a senator, bowing respectfully to Lina. Madam President, one addressed her, revealing her role at the helm of a global conglomerate. Victor's jaw dropped. Isabella gasped. The guests, still recovering from the fight, murmured in disbelief. Lina's calm smile widened as her team flanked her, presenting a tablet with stock charts showing her empire dwarfing Victor's. Flashbacks unveiled her journey. Post-training, she patented Kung Fu-inspired tech, building an empire in wellness and security. Billions poured in, all anonymous until now. Suspense peaked. How deep did her power go? A mogul shook her hand. "Your investment saved my company." Victor stammered. "This, impossible." Action lingered in subtle threats. Security eyed Victor's remaining friend warily. But comedy lightened where the starstruck guest blurted, "You're richer than all of us." Lina laughed genuinely. Wealth is perspective. Romance intensified as Alex stepped forward, taking her hand. "Knew you had it in you," he whispered, their eyes locking in a moment of pure connection. Banter flowed. "Took you long enough to show up." Fashionably late, as always, the convoy's arrival turned humiliation on its head, guests applauding tentatively. Intrigue swirled, rumors of her influencing markets, outbidding Victor secretly. The unveiling deepened as documents surfaced. Lina owned shares in Victor's company, poised for takeover. "I could crush you," she said softly, "but I won't." Victor's empire crumbled in perception. Flashbacks showed her strategic moves, boardroom battles won incognito. Suspense built with a phone call, her advisor confirming global headlines brewing. Comedy hits when Marcus, bruised, groveled, "Sorry, ma'am." Lina quipped, "Apology accepted. Send the dry cleaning bill." Emotional layers emerged. Lina's pity shone through. "You thought you won, Victor, but true victory is self-made." The chapter closed on awe. The empire's reveal a seismic shift, setting up emotional reckonings. Amid the convoy's grandeur, romance took center stage as Alex pulled Lina aside, away from the gawking crowd. "You've changed," he said, his voice warm with admiration. Their past sparked alive. Years ago, in the dojo, his encouragement had been her anchor. Now, with Victor's world crumbling, they shared a quiet moment by the mansion's gardens. "Remember our first spa? You floored me, literally," he joked, eliciting her laughter. Banter flew, "And you claimed it was a slip. On your charm, maybe." Suspense intertwined. Would Victor interrupt? But security held the line. Flashbacks revealed their almost romance, paused for her rebirth. Now, hand in hand, sparks flew, a counterpoint to the night's drama. Comedy erupted when Victor, desperate, approached, only to trip over a loose carpet sprawling at their feet. "Poetic," Lina mused. Guests chuckled nervously. Action simmered in Alex's protective stance, ready if needed. But redemption hinted. Lina offered Victor advice: rebuild honestly. His bride, Isabella, questioned him sharply, cracks forming. Intrigue deepened with whispers of alliances shifting to Lina. The sparks grew as Alex confessed, "I never stopped believing." Their kiss under starry light sealed the moment, romance blooming fully. Flashbacks showed his quiet support, letters sent during her lows. Comedy returned with a guest's toast to the real power couple. Laughter eased tension. Redemption's payoff came in Lina's grace, forgiving without forgetting. The chapter wove love, laughs, and lingering suspense, bridging to closure. Victor's emotional collapse unfolded dramatically as realizations hit. Kneeling amid shattered glass, he begged, "How? Why?" Lina's response, "Pity, not anger. You discarded me, I rebuilt." Flashbacks contrasted his rise with hers, his cutthroat deals versus her ethical empire. Suspense, would he lash out? But security loomed.
Comedy in Isabella's fury. You lied about everything. Slapping him comically, she stormed off. Action in verbal sparring. Victor accused manipulation. Lina countered with facts. Romance shone as Alex supported. She's the hero here. Guests shifted allegiance, toasting Lina. The fall deepened. Victor's deals unraveled via phone alerts. Intrigue, her influence exposed. Laughter when a friend quipped, "Karma's a black belt." Rise culminated in Lina's dignity, walking away with Alex, her empire ascendant.
She didn't come for revenge, but when fate handed her the stage, she delivered justice with elegance, laughter, and unstoppable strength. Lina and Alex departed hand in hand, the convoy whisking them away amid applause. Victor, alone, faced ruins. Flashbacks tied threads, from broken to unbreakable. Suspense resolved in epilogue whispers, her empire thriving, his fading. Comedy in final banter, next adventure? With you, always. Romance endured, their future bright. Emotional payoff, Lina's line to Victor, "Pity you couldn't see my worth." The story closed on triumph, immersive and unforgettable.
If you enjoyed this story, I think you should also enjoy this one on the screen.